Okay, the channel is live. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play Daggerheart.
Daggerheart.
Yes.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the game master. Our players tonight, Nobilis as Bright,
May the blessings of the greater elder of slime be upon you.
Biggie.
Dove Archambault as Curia,
This is going to be interesting.
Lee Burdett as Zeke, and me spelling things on my desk. No, you are
This
not
is gonna
spilling
be
things
fun.
on my desk. That made it sound like I was saying you are Zeke and spilling things on my desk, but it was in fact
Yes,
me
because
who was spilling things on
I'm
my desk.
reaching through the camera to knock off that cup.
Yes, it's fine. There's no actual spillage. Uh,
Good.
Jason Banks as Clem Jr.
I think we've dug ourselves into a hole this week.
Well, you say that you're in the penthouse suite of the Salt Brine Falls community.
Oh,
Last but
I-
not least, we have Paul Weimer as Basilios.
We have a gala to test our culinary might, and the golden nuggets will do it right. Will we cook a delicious meal? Will our composition win an approval seal? Stay tuned and let's find out tonight.
Whoa. So, we are missing Millie as Suspon tonight, but we imagine that Sue is off there around somewhere, getting up to her own antics while we follow the main party of the Golden Nuggets. So, when last we left our heroes, they had followed their new frog person ally Riga down deeper into the Plover Caves and to the community of Saltbrine Falls, which is populated primarily by fungus people. But this community is under siege of a sort at the moment, almost more like a quarantine, where an invasive strain of fungal spores has been causing them a lot of difficulty. I'm just getting some messages that I think are fine. So you had submitted to having all of your belongings scanned, and it turns out the samples you had from these strange creatures that had attacked Manchego Manor did appear to be carrying the spore that they were worried about. And so those were disposed of, but it shows you the things are distinctly connected. And so because you are not yourselves susceptible to that spore, you were able to investigate a site where one of these strange patchwork knights had started an attack that was repelled. And you discovered some interesting things. For example, there was no actual body inside that suit of armor. It seems to have had some sort of an internal mechanism that perhaps was allowing it to be puppeted manually or magically from somewhere else, perhaps. Unclear exactly what is going on. But as a reward for you helping out Saltbrine Falls with this investigation, you've now been given sort of the suite of honor at the top of one of their little mushroom skyscrapers inside this cavern. And you have been told that in order to keep everyone's spirits up during this current time of crisis, they're having a big festival where there will be a cooking competition. And given that you all consider yourselves rather capable field chefs, you thought that might be a fun thing to participate in as well. So, current schedule is that tonight is a big gala, which is where there's a mixer. It is where everyone's going to be hanging out. You would expect that your primary competitors are going to be there. The judges are going to be there. Other fancy people are going to be there. And so that is the night before the cooking competition proper. The day of the cooking competition will have two primary phases, which one is sourcing your ingredients. And then the second phase is, of course, preparing them. But first, you have to prepare for the gala. So we left things off with the suggestion that everyone was going to come up with what sort of outfit are you planning to wear to this gala, which is intended to be fancy dress, but what you wear is up to you. So, what would you
Well,
like
I
to
think
do?
that as a man of the cloth, it would be ill-conceived to bedeck myself with finery. However, clean robes would be good. And it's quite honestly, something of a luxury these days.
Here's a question for you. When you do sort of commune with the great golden slime and assume your sort of goo-like form,
Mm-hmm.
does that stain your clothes?
Um, hmm. I think the fabric has been chosen in such a way that it's not consumed or ill worn as a result, but that means that it's not particularly comfortable in human form.
Fantasy Scotchgard.
Yeah, and fantasy hair shirt.
So, lovely. One other little detail that we discovered is that there is actually a temple in town to the Great Golden Slime, but
Yeah,
they do things different down here. And
yeah.
apparently, yeah, down here they are pretty convinced that the Great Golden Slime mold is, of course, great and golden, but also prefers Fungril. Is there more to it that had you given it
Yeah,
thought?
I've been thinking about what their order-born values are,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of starting "Be like the golden slime," it starts with "Honor the golden slime mold," and um,
Are you
and the last one,
okay?
and I'm just doing the last
Sure.
finishing touches on it. So the first two are the same. Honor the gold, penetrating darkness with its wisdom. Oh. Honor the golden slime mold, responding to adversity by dividing into more slimes. Through challenge, the golden slime is everywhere. Golden slime mold.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is honor the golden slime mold, source of all wealth and power. Unto it, all wealth and power is due, or all wealth and power returns.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Yes.
All
So,
right.
yes, a bit more ominous in their teachings, and Bright has come away from that um, encounter somewhat shaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just one. I have to fix one thing. Hang on. Sorry, I just I adjusted a tab on on my browser here, and now it's messed up my. No, let's see. There we go. All right, there we go. Let me get this back onto what. Why is it doing that? My apologies. One moment. Ah. Okay. So yes, in any case, that I'm fixing this while I talk to you. So that is so you've prepared clean versions of your robes
Yes.
in order to
Yes.
support this gala's expectation for, you know, at least looking nice.
Yes. Yes.
All right. What about you, Kyria? How are you preparing for the gala?
Uh, I think that she found a tailor that was work that um before the quarantine went into effect was about to send a shipment of spider silk clothing up to Manchego Manor and was able to get basically um a suit, a little pantsuit
Nice.
in yeah yeah in green and blue that to wear for the gala.
Nice.
It's not it it's not like super well fitted,
Mm-hmm.
but it fits good enough, and it's not hers to keep it,
Mm-hmm.
but she'll give it back.
All right.
Yeah.
So, would you be expecting to bring any of your stuff, like your weapons and so on?
Uh I think it's like a hmm. Mm,
You can discuss that as a group if you want. I think
yeah.
I think,
I
yeah.
would
No
say
one
it'd be
has. Yeah. So
you would
go ahead.
check it at the door kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you can have your I can have my bow and just leave it at the door and yeah yeah.
Sure. How about you, Zeke?
I think that Zeke is going to honor his heritage and go in the buff.
Really?
Because he is a fawn.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Most of his lower parts are covered in fairly thick fur. And he does have that cute little tail on the back. It's very attractive. All the girls say so. And so what he's going to invest in
Mm-hmm.
is a bath and a trim. So he's going to go find a fungril bar, like a bathhouse. He's gonna, polish up his hooves and his
Mm-hmm.
horns and get a nice haircut. Maybe trim on his legs,
Mm-hmm.
and just so that he's nice and svelte.
Okay.
Nice and svelte.
I would like you to just roll a d12. We're imagining that you're rolling your hope die here. This is just the idea that certainly, as we've established, the Fungril are very, like, they tend to have a lot of sort of accessories and ornamentation, and they do certainly care about, like, their appearances. And there would be, certainly people who would uh, do trimming and shaping and everything of their sort of trim caps and frills and fronds and so on. But are they used to fawn fur? And so this role is basically just going to reflect how good they are at doing what
Pretty
you
darn
need.
good.
And look, that's a 10.
Wow.
So you get a pretty nice, um, I was going to say top up, but that doesn't sound right. You get a pretty nice groom glow up. There you go.
Yeah.
Blow up,
All
yeah.
right. And so are you just totally without any adornment at all? So no like accessories, or just completely all natural?
I can imagine like they would have like little bits of costume jewelry they would like put into the put into your fur and such.
No, no,
No?
no. Actually, I am just perfect just the way I am. If I don't need the armor, which I do when I'm, there's wolves out there. I have to protect my sheep, so I wear armor on the job. Or I'm wearing armor, while we journey down here because it's dangerous, but there's no danger here. I can just leave my stuff up there and go as the gods intended me.
Very nice. Okay. How about you, Basilius?
Basilius has decided to go into his heritage and has asked to borrow basically with a lot of alterations and try to understand what he wants, a full-on wizard's robe outfit in blue and bronze
Uh-huh.
with gloves. I've been trying to get here to do what I want without much success, but I think I'm almost there. You'll get to see it visually in a moment or two. But yeah,
Oh.
so yeah, he's decided like I'm the sorcerer of this group. I'm gonna look like the sorcerer of this group. So
Nice.
and his colors, yes, he is a blue basically dragonborn, but he likes blue as a color to wear, and bronze sets off that nicely, so that's what he's got.
Well, so here's a question. So we see on our video here, we have your token with this sort of very deep blue of your scales.
The blue is even deeper, darker.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. So it's an even darker, like a really dark, like navy.
Yeah, like a navy or a royal. Yeah, that's the way it's going to.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. How about Clem Jr.?
So Clem is going to get some lichen and make a kind of a drape to go over his shell.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taking this flat mushroom cap looking mush fungus and puts it on the back part of his shell around here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would think, if you would see him swimming, it would look like a lily pad.
Hmm.
And he's going to have our little froggy friend who's with us to perch up there for the night.
Okay.
Yep. Zeke gives Clem Jr. back his turtle wax and says thanks.
It's great for your hooves, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and the horns. I mean, look at this.
Island and
You might
profiling.
want to be careful using that outside the caves. You might blind someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. They are fantastic.
So I think that Riga, in perhaps, not that the Fungril of Salt Brine Falls are especially concerned with gender roles, but I think Riga manages to dress herself in a pretty nice, slim-fitting tuxedo with a top hat.
Oh, nice.
Does she
Very
perhaps
delicate.
have a cane and sing?
How did you know?
Yep. I was
Very
that way as
dapper.
well.
Yeah, okay, great. So I think, is there anything that anyone else would want to do in preparation before attending this gala?
Mm, not, I
Okay.
can't think of anything.
Yeah, we had our quasi rest, and that's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
good enough for the
Ooh.
moment.
Yeah.
And before I forget, I'll roll my my prayer dice for the evening because I think we might need them
Mm-hmm.
You think?
a little bit.
Why would we need
Oh,
those?
well-
We're just going to a party.
We're just going to a party.
Well, so one of the things that I mentioned at the end of last session was that I think it's kind of an interesting idea to explore some of Daggerheart's social encounter
True.
systems. And so I think that this is an important event, and we're definitely going to have some roles, but it doesn't necessarily mean fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, my highborn trait might come into
Mhm.
play.
Yeah.
Ooh. But
Sure.
historically, this party, and I mean us as players, don't do social well.
I'm not
Oh,
playing a
believe me,
bard this
Kiri.
time. Sorry.
Who
Yeah.
does have the highest presence score?
Oh,
It's almost certainly me. I got the two.
probably.
Yeah, I have a 0.
I have a 1. So yeah,
I have a -1.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
That's
it
something like a
is our-
goat gets you.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think then
Never smelled a goat. Oh
let me offer, given that no one like mentioned this specifically, let me put it, I guess, this way. What is it that all of you are hoping to get out of the gala beyond just the idea that it's kind of expected?
We gotta
Um,
sense up our competition.
And I some idea of where where good ingredients are found
Mm-hmm.
around.
um, Bright is definitely going to try to, not without being too overt about it, but
Mm-hmm.
quietly gather information about these followers of the great elder golden slime mold. um, because, oof, I mean, they're not what he was expecting at all.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone who was raised in the most benevolent Jesuit monastery ever coming across the Inquisition
Mm.
and just being like, no, this can't be the same organization. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And almost in horrified fascination, he's going to try and find out more.
Oh boy, is this how we're going to start the start a religious war?
Actually, what Curious is most interested in is uh, any idea of what is going on with the Patchwork Knights. Like, if there's
Okay.
like any scholars have theories or whatever, that would be what she'd look for.
Okay. So what I will just say about that is not that you wouldn't be able to find anything, because you may well. We'll see. But I think that you know at the very least that the folks that you've talked to so far, including the sheriff, um, didn't seem to know very much.
Yeah.
Knew only that they've been dealing with these spores getting in through, and being having to control for them, and then also this recent attack where they couldn't really even investigate. So to some extent, what they know about the Patchwork Knights so far is less than you do. But that doesn't mean that there might not be other people with ideas. I'm just saying that, like, that's going to be a higher difficulty objective.
Mhm. Yeah, I think um, Zeke's focus is going to be trying to find out what the path ahead is going to be like, and what the village of frogs is actually like, because I cannot pronounce whatever the whatever that is, whatever the I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to try. So he wants to know what they might be getting into up ahead, because I mean we're not going to stay here much longer. Maybe one or 2 days to rest up, get stuff patched up, get some more supplies, and then we're going to be heading out. And it'd be nice to know what we're going to see um, in the future.
All right.
I put a little pronunciation guide under it for you there, Lee.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Puisses de Grand Oui. Okay. I'm hopeful that I just said that right, and that France will not declare war.
Switching to our map here on the screen just briefly, so everyone can sort of see that, of course, yes, you are expecting to eventually travel with Riga down to Cuisis de Gonry. I don't know that I'm good at the pronunciation either, but that's a shot. But right now you're up here in the Fungril community of Saltburn Falls.
Mhm.
So, there we go. Back. So, I think then if it's I bring that up really just so that you kind of know what you might be trying to do when you go there. So I think when you are ready, you know that you don't really have to be escorted there because it's pretty obvious. Like you are the sort of fungal building that you're staying in is quite near sort of where all of the festival stuff is happening, and you can kind of see looking out at the windows that there is sort of a very like big open like brightly lit area where you see that there's people gathering, and you're pretty sure that's it. And I want to know from everybody, I would like you to each provide a detail of the sort of thing that you see, hear, or otherwise sense, um, alerting you to where this place is. So as you're making your way there, what are the things that you notice about it?
The streets are decorated with um, phosphorescent fungi. They're little uh, cap mushrooms or or patches of shelf fungus. Shelf fungus, I think, is what it is, um, and they're like though those lights that they sometimes put in like parks or things that are really close to the ground and they just illuminate a patch of sidewalk
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't like spoil being able to see everything else.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like that.
Mhm.
Nice. Who else has got a detail?
These,
Clem
these,
is
oh, go ahead.
you good.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, Clem is super fascinated with how they've got these basically on the surface would be tiny fungus, but they're oversized and they're actually made them into a fountain of like shooting arcs of water. And he's like, that's very nice. I didn't think they could do that.
They also have small little starbursts of basically fungi fireworks being shot up, and then the spores, which are of a similar phosphorescent variety to the ones that we previously saw, basically as a small little burst, kind of helping lighting the way from above to show this is the way towards the center. Not big, gigantic bursts, but a small enough. I mean, kind of like a little smaller than a Roman candle. Um, are they alive? I don't know, but they're certainly glowing. They're certainly festive and go up with a pop.
Uh, there are so many mascots for so many different things. Like it, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what it, uh, at least on the outside, what's the um, who are regular fungrals and who are just fungrals dressed up as some sort of mascot. And it's like, you know, and uh, Kyria asks about him, and it's like, yes, uh, it's for the different neighborhoods.
Okay. They have just
Gotcha.
sort of these like cultural costumes that kind of. Oh, you know what? I bet that there's a competition where um, there's like a mascot suit race, um,
Yeah,
like they do at like baseball games and stuff sometimes, where people are in these big sort of bulky outfits and have to try to do like a foot race or obstacle course or something in them, and it's like for neighborhood pride. That's fun. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. How about you, Lee?
Um, I think besides the lichen, the slime molds, and the just prevalence of fungi around, the only other plant life that is in the area are these great looping, it looks like a vine, but it's actually a fern.
Mhm.
And so they've actually got these ferns growing from like building to building, and so it looks like, like bunting,
Garland?
basic bunting, basically
Bunting.
hanging between the two buildings, and they've got little phosphorescent insects traveling over the buildings and the thing, so it looks like fairy lights.
Nice.
Hmm.
Uh, I think there's also music. They've got some sort of a live, uh, you know, small orchestra combo sort of thing. Maybe like 5 to 7 musicians with a variety of instruments, but they're playing sort of. Uh, I have the feeling of it being kind of vaguely waltzy, but perhaps uh, there's a what. So what distinguishes the kind of fancy party music that the Fungril might like compared to what we in our normal lives might think of?
I don't know much about music, but my wife does. So she recently explained to me how stuff done in 5/4 time sounds weird to
Mm.
us. Interesting word. So I think fungal music is in 5/4 time, so it sounds real off and interesting and different to us because it's not an even rhythm.
That just reminds me that one of the songs from Sinners, one of the like the Irish, I want to say it was called a slip jig or something like that,
Hmm.
where the idea is that it's literally a 4/4 measure and a 5/4 measure back to back, like you
Oh,
switch back and forth
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
as
yeah.
you go.
She loved that. She was explaining to me excitedly about this. Like, okay, honey. I don't hear it, but yeah.
one thing for us that gets missed is that there's also singing, but it's telepathic.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Definitely.
like there's like a an extra note that
Mm-hmm.
everybody else hears, all the fungal hears, but we don't.
Okay, nice,
So
nice.
makes it
All right.
even more strange.
So the time signature thing makes me think that it's actually not sort of slow and elegant, but rather it's almost a little bit more of a bouncy, boisterous
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
music.
I'm
Interesting.
not gonna
Okay,
rewatch
cool.
Sinners.
Yeah. So I think that certainly there is a point at which the hoi polloi of Salt Brine Falls are asked to enjoy other parts of the festival. But you all have been attracting some attention as you pass through the city, not least just because you're, obviously not from around here. But the word has gotten out that some adventurers from outside the city have just recently helped Salt Brine Falls, and so it's kind of understood that you're invited here to the gala, but also that people are interested in you. So I think you make your way to this area, and like I said, this is not in like a big fancy ballroom. It's basically in a sort of just big cleared public square that's been sort of, you know, roped off, and there are lots of lights, and you see people walking around with little plates of fancy little hors d'oeuvres and you know uh, wine, and the music is playing, and lots of fungrel of all sorts of shapes and sizes, uh, decked out in their fanciest little accessories. They've got little jewelries and paints and everything, making everyone really look fancy. So as you show up, there's definitely we get the fancy party equivalent of in a western where someone walks into the saloon and the piano player stops and everyone turns to look.
I think in
So
this case it's like there's like um, a signal to the band to do like a da 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 or whatever kind of thing.
is
So
there?
it's like
I'm just saying is like who would have arranged that?
well like honor guest kind of thing. Get I get a special thing when
Well,
they
let
come in.
let
Or
me
maybe
pull that back just a little bit. Um, you've helped out the city.
Yeah.
You have earned an invitation, but this
True.
is also like the most important people in the city, and you helped the city like a little. You're
Yeah.
not like
Okay.
being awarded the key to the city. You are invited.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm going to like push back just a little bit that this is not
Okay.
like people are not cheering as you walk in. You are not being you're not the MVP of this party, but you did earn an invitation. Would you see the distinction I'm making
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
And I only push back on that just to sort of indicate that there are going to be a lot of these people at this party that aren't impressed with you.
Okay.
You know, there's going to be perhaps quite a variety. I'm just saying this is not a universal. You are not the heroes of Salt Brine Falls yet. What you did is do a favor for the sheriff.
Okay.
So nobody is necessarily, perhaps only the most cranky would begrudge your presence here, but it's not like this party's been organized on your behalf. But that said, people certainly notice when you come in. So what I'm asking you all is not what they do, but what you do.
Oh. Kyria would just kind of, notice everybody looking and then just kind of give a bow and move to the side.
Okay. So once again, I will definitely, I'll just iterate to anyone. It's like anytime you want to just sort of casually mention what you're doing, that's 100% fine. But if you want to start making moves towards actually accomplishing anything or learning anything or any of those sorts of things, we are going to do roles for that. So
Yeah.
let me know if by any of your actions you are hoping to achieve some specific effect.
Yeah, my Bright is going to be mingling and seeing first of all if he can spot any of the um, the devotees
Mm-hmm.
of the Golden Elder Slime Mold,
Mm-hmm.
and he's mostly going to be well. It's not really playing to his strength. He's going to be engaging people in conversation who are like nearby them
Mm-hmm.
to try to find out what they think of the devotees rather than like specifically going up to them and just kind
So
of get yeah.
so you're not making a point of having sort of a big notable entrance. You're kind of just
No,
just
no, I'm
coming in and moving
mingling
on into
and
the crowd. Okay, great.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead and just to start, go ahead and make and I think an instinct roll to try to see if you can spot some of the
Okay.
other devotees in the way you might be looking for.
Okay. Let me see. I do have a
The
hope to spend on experience.
blanket difficulty for this party is 14.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna roll it straight though because
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens.
All right. Okay.
That's a 10 with fear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that so. I think that you are just seeing all of these Fungril dressed up so fancy, and you realize that you're not actually sure what might be. Like, you don't see any of the sort of symbolism or specific type of vestments or whatever that you would be expecting from sort of your chapter. And I think you sort of realize I'm not sure I know what the Fungril
Yeah.
outfit for a devotee would be. what sort of signifier would they use? You realize, oh, wait, I'm not sure. I can't tell. Are there none here, or do you just not know what to look for? And I think you
Yeah.
are finding yourself a little bit, you were hoping perhaps that it would be more obvious than it seems to be.
Yeah. All right.
But
Well,
in the meantime, though, we still
yeah.
have 3 others who are. What are you doing as you come in?
Clem, if anyone makes eye contact with him, he'll nod and be polite. And little frog buddy obviously, tips their hat.
Hmm.
Um, but Clem is going to look and see if he can hear people talking about the competition tomorrow and like who are participants.
Okay, great. So, is it your expectation? Had you like worked it out with Riga that she's literally just going to ride you around, or is she?
Well, she can
Was
go
that
do it.
kind of just for the entrance?
Yes, for the entrance. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, go ahead and make your own instinct roll.
Alrighty.
Okay, that is a 16 with fear. It does a success with fear. So I think that the short version here is that you do get the sense that a lot of people are talking about the competition, right? It's not going to be remotely difficult to find people who are talking about it. And I think it's a question of like, what sort of, I think that what you hear in some of what the snippets of conversation you're picking up on here and there, I think you're aware, first of all, that there might be some nuances to the conversation that you're not necessarily getting because so many of them here can speak telepathically.
Yep.
But there's a lot of speaking out loud, and I think that you do recognize that there's, just about anyone you talk to is going to know something about it. But I think what you pick up on specifically is that someone is saying Judge Roughstock is never going to let those outsiders get anywhere in the competition.
Ooh. Clem is gonna hear that and say, or go up to that fungus
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Ooh, well, how does he judge the competitions? This will be this is the first time we've been to here."
Let's see. This is a this particular fungrel is they their name is Cluster Dodgson, and they have a head that looks like it splits up into a whole bunch of little tiny heads, like a cookie mushroom. And they look at you sort of like surprised that you would approach them. Go ahead and make a presence roll as well for trying to begin this conversation. Look at that. Okay, well you get a hope, but I think that what you discover here is that so this is what you get is that they look surprised and startled to have been overheard, and then they're sort of like looking awkward, and they are kind of it's like well, of course, I wouldn't want to speak for the judge. I don't know anything. Good evening to you. And then they like turn and sort of hurry away. But you do catch, and this is the hope element. You do catch that they do glance over across the party to where you see an elderly looking fungrel with a lot of sort of not damage, but like wear along the cap, and just sort of a very sort of stern
And
demeanor.
so you said the judge's name was Judge Rothwell?
Roughstock.
Roughstock.
And so that particular fungrel is kind of holding court. Lots of people wanting to talk to them and standing around in a circle there. So the hope that you get, even though that one fungrel didn't want to talk to you, is that you're pretty sure that's who the judge is.
Oh, I'm definitely going over there.
Yeah. But let's see. What about what are Zeke and Basilius doing as well, and Curia for that matter, because all we had so far was that you stepped in the room.
Um, I think Zeke is also trying to play it cool and not so much blend in, but
Mhm.
merge with kind of the crowd and listen in and see what all's going on. The See if anybody's not talking about the competition, might be trying to find somebody who might be a good person to ask about, what would be,
Mhm.
what will we be facing in the future. Um,
Okay.
About the route and the journey, basically.
Mhm.
the what?
The route and the journey, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Okay.
route and the journey, because I mean we stopped off here, but this isn't the end of the
Mhm.
journey.
Well, so
Maybe
you.
what was the name of that little kid who wanted to join us?
Oh, shoot, I don't remember.
Okay, because the thing is that we're not going to be able to take him with us, but he can help, and that might help him fill in the blanks for that until he has his own um uh has his own adventuring party gathered together. Um, so he might be able to point me in the right direction. So I think that's
I
what
don't think
Zeke's gonna
some
do.
random little kid is at this party.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. That
Well,
was
the
that was
the
just
other
an
thing that I
idea.
might encourage you to think about when you're asking these questions is to ask Riga, who is from there, planning to take you there, and
Hmm.
has been outside the city and traveling around a lot. Now, I know that you
Right.
don't necessarily share a language, but that is a potential source of that information as opposed to just trying to overhear someone talking about it at a party, which,
No.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just reminding you that you have a source for that sort of information already.
Right. Right. The and I know that Riga will try her best to get across the dangers and everything like that. But there is that language barrier, and
Okay.
having a source that can actually speak to me in a language I understand will
Okay. All right.
at
So,
least give us
I
more
mean, we'll let you
information.
do a roll, but I think this is a higher difficulty because it is not what people are here for.
Right.
So, but you can, if you want to try to find someone at this party who
Hmm.
is, potentially knowledgeable about the hazards in the vicinity, specifically leading from here down to, um, you know, through the ruins of T-Mire and to the Abysk.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can make an instinct roll if you like.
Yes, please. That's very, very much better than my presence roll.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
Very.
that is a 20 with fear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, all right. I just realized that I'm gonna have to spend some fear in this place, or else I'm just gonna fill up, and then when you roll with fear, nothing will happen. Yeah. So I think that uh, I let's see. You encounter a fungril who is. I'm looking at fungus names here.
Hmm.
Um, there are too many different kinds. Yeah, so you encounter a fungril who's wearing in their various adornments a lot of things that look like, like medals, like decorations of that
Mhm.
nature, and they have sort of a very sort of wavy, elaborate cap, like a lion's mane fungus mushroom, and so they are. Standing rather stiffly in a little group where they're talking about Yes, well, of course, in the campaign to the Abysk, we fought quite many of those terrible creatures, but of course that was years ago now, and I imagined that I would leave such things to the younger folk.
Yes. Well, as one of those younger folk, I would definitely want to benefit from your wisdom.
So,
Would you tell me about the Abysk?
well, so because again, this is you basically walking up onto an existing conversation, totally cool, but it is something that requires a presence roll.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, let's see how badly I fail.
Oh, look at that! It
No,
is
that's
a
a crit!
That's a
Crit!
crit.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
Yay.
crit. So, I think this elaborate sort of military bearing fungril like looks down at you. I think they're quite big. You know, it's
Yes.
7 foot, sort of big, like wide and bulky, and they sort of like peer down at you, and they take a moment. And they put up some like glasses, and they say, "Oh my goodness, you are, if I'm not mistaken, one of the individuals who helped out Sheriff Portobello, are you not?"
Yes, sir. We were very pleased to be of assistance.
Ah, bully! I heard that you have done a good turn to Saltbrain Falls, investigating a rather hazardous area. It is my understanding that you and your friends are traveling and intending to go deeper into the caves. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct, sir.
My, what a brave undertaking for surface folk, and I do not mean to suggest surface folk are not up to the task, only that we do not see very many down this far, and to go even further is testament to your bravery. You and your friends, I applaud you.
Thank you, sir. We are very honored.
You asked me a question. What was it? I'm afraid I have already forgotten in my own bluster.
I heard you speaking about the Abysk, and we are headed, as you said, we are headed deeper. I would be very grateful to learn more about the area of the Abysk, maybe hear more about your own adventures, and you know, any information, any wisdom that you could pass on would be more than happily received.
Well, you see, that journey down through the Abysk from here is accessed most directly through the caverns that pass by the ruins of Timaya. Are you familiar with those, young lady? Or young man, I'm sorry. Terribly sorry. My glasses are a bit fogged up. Let me clean those. Yes.
It's quite all right, sir. But unfortunately, as you said, unfortunately, I am ignorant of T. Meyer and what their history might have been.
Yes. Well, Timaya was once upon a time a domain populated by many gnomes, you see. Now, the once great gnome civilization of Timaya has waned rather dramatically. There are some who still live there, but by and large, it is ruined, described as a ruin because it is reminiscent of a much larger civilization, and that is now only populated by a very small fraction of what it once had, and many parts of it are abandoned and not kept up. And so they keep to themselves for the most part. We trade with them every so often, but you cannot help when you travel through that area but wonder what sights might have availed you when they were at their height. There is a remarkable architecture now gone to ruin there, and so there are some unscrupulous individuals who can hide down in those areas. It is an area that is often travelers can be beset by villains who would seek to rob you of your valuables or perhaps even your life.
We'll definitely keep an eye out, sir.
This is not to say that the gnomes who live in the ruins of Timaya are exclusively criminals, only just that the passage by their domain can be tricky in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But once you have passed through the ruins of Timaya, they do have rather remarkable herb garden and growing fields in that area. That is, of course, was the central crop of their original civilization, and so now there are places where many of these fancy herbs actually grow quite wild. It can produce caverns with an aroma quite unlike anything else you'll find in the Plover Caves, I imagine.
Oh.
But you asked about the Abyss. The Abyss itself is a rather harsh domain. It is not something that is not a comfortable place for most individuals of culture and civilization. It is kind of wild. There are a lot of, as you might imagine, oozes down there.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh.
there's a lot of slimes and moisture, but everything can be, everything's a bit slippery. It's difficult to traverse those caverns because there's just muck all over everything, you see. And
Yes.
sometimes that muck simply means to steal your footing and send you tumbling down a cliff, but other times it might look to just, dissolve your bones to feed itself.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay.
Now, the golden slime that there are devotees to do sometimes talk as though that place is a sort of fallen place of worship. That it was once something quite beautiful and now has gone to seed as such. But whether or not the golden slime holds dominion over other slimes, I could not say. I did not see any churches down there.
Okay.
But in that place, there are a number of other hazards. There are great insects, flicker flies and the like, that live in that domain, that are able to fly and therefore not as slowed by the terrible oozy terrain, you see. And they make that their hunting grounds, because anything else that travels down through there is held up, cannot move as quickly, and then they are easy targets. It reminds me of an adventure I had once, and I'm going to just invite that to be a moment where they're going to go on to a long story of their own while we have our camera pivot to another character.
So Bass is very modest goals at the Scully. He's not a social creature, and he knows it. So he's gonna, try to get to know people. If he's gonna pry anything out of all this, it is kind of helping the competition a little bit, but in the most banal way. He's kind of curious about what sort of flavors and are the dominant flavors that mushroom people like in their food. What kind of food do they like? He's going to try to be as casual as possible. He knows he's going to fumble all over this because he's not the social sort, but he wants at least to have a slight clue as what to even possibly even bring to the table or look for in a preparation. So, but he's being very, very low key about it. He's not being aggressive at all. He's going to try to do his listening.
One
as much
thing to
as
do would be
anything.
just go to the refreshments table.
Well, yes.
See what they're
people,
serving.
carrying these hors d'oeuvres around.
Yeah. So thank you. That's a good idea. You can tell I don't go to parties often. So he'll try lots of the hors d'oeuvres as well, and basically trying to get a sense of what these people eat, what that we could possibly make that's even somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, we
Okay.
do know that they serve insects on a stick because that's what Riga is probably eating right now.
Right, but that's only one thing we know.
Mhm.
That's not enough data. So yeah, so he's on a culinary fact-finding mission.
Okay. I am excited by this, and so what I'm going to request is that our four remaining players are each going to describe some uh, hors d'oeuvre that Basilius tries.
Go ahead, people.
Hmm.
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 Oh, I stumped the
Um,
party.
Dry
No.
aged bat.
Aged bat?
How is that
Dry
prepared?
aged. Oh
How's that
well,
presented? Or yeah, like on a cracker.
basically, it's the flight muscles of a bat. What would be breast meat on a bird? Probably the strongest muscles on a bat.
Mhm.
Um, and they're kind of separated from the rest of the bat and kind of presented kind of in a little almost like a little almost floral display. They're kind of sitting up and have petals hanging out, and they've been just left to dry that way. Um, the way one quote unquote ages meat, um, and and how that's different from decay is
Mhm.
something only a refined chef could
Yeah.
explain.
Well, I think that yeah, there's one of the keys in aging meat as opposed to letting it rot. There can be a fine line there, but one of the primary areas would be keeping it clean and not letting it
Yeah,
get infested by bugs and stuff. But
yeah.
in any case, though, what that's an excellent one. I will also just remind everyone else that the fungril are omnivorous. They do eat meat and plants in
Right,
addition
yeah.
to other
Hmm.
kinds of fungus. It's not something that they
Hmm.
they only eat other funguses or something like that. Or that they don't eat fungus. Like that's neither of those are true. They're omnivorous just like any other humanoid species in this game.
Well, ooh, one of them is a cocktail, and it is made out of different. Basically, it is sugar in a cup. It is super sweet, but it does have things like different roots and starchy things in it. Like there's like a one. It's actually got a parsnip in it. That's the garnish on the side is a wedge of parsnip. And but it is a sugary drink that is fluorescent, like some of the things they use to decorate the road. And it does have like a little fungal cap thing in it, also like a little umbrella.
So it's gonna be I'm gonna be bouncing off the walls after I drink this thing. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Zeke, I can fly! Oh god.
All right, let's get two more.
What you got? What you got, Jeff?
Oh, um, I think uh there's this like Jello kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, it is it is very um it's odd in that it has a different taste for everyone that um uh a slightly different taste for everyone that has it, but it's like there's always some sort of savory and a and an uh just an undercurrent of sour.
Okay. But like so like it's a Jello, but how is it served as an hors d'oeuvre? someone's bringing around
It
a
is.
tray of this, what is it? How do you grab it?
It's on a little chip of something, some
Okay.
sort of fibrous thing.
All right.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, my first and second choices aren't gonna work after that. So let's see. We need a main course of some sort. We need some kind of meat on a stick.
Understood.
Yeah, and I think that that's basically what you find is that someone is serving some kind of undefined meat on a stick with a really, really savory, spicy barbecue sauce. And the texture's a little weird. It doesn't taste like any kind of meat you've ever had. It's not like the bat. It's not like meat that we've had in the any kind of meat in the that we've had in the caves or anything like that. It's not definitely not meat that you are familiar with from above ground,
Mm-hmm.
but it does have a really interesting, not really texture, but the flavor. The longer you chew it and then mixed with this barbecue sauce is just really, really good. And you find yourself like every 20 minutes, you're like,
Oh no.
I gotta have another one. I gotta have another one. And it's
Oh,
helping
God.
offset that really, really sugary drink.
I think that there's also a tray of what looks like some kind of an elaborate sushi roll, where it's displayed on the tray as though it's a snake that's sort of like
Mhm.
in a wavy shape, but it's sliced. So you take out little segments of the roll and everything, and at least at first glance, it's clear it's some sort of like a grain with a leafy thing that's around the outside, but there's definitely a spicy sauce and some kind of meat in there, and you gather that because of the presentation, it might be snake.
Hmm.
So in any case, in trying all of these, just for free without rolling, I will say that you discover there's quite a variety of different flavors in there, in much the same way that you would have expected. Like they're not all sweet or something like that. They're not all.
Mhm.
All right, we have people turning their cameras off in ways that make the
Oh no.
the
No,
Break it.
people
it
jump
it
around on
it
the display.
yeah, my Zoom just restarted itself for unknown
Oh.
reasons.
All right, let's see if I can't get everyone back where they are supposed to be. There we go. All right, so yes, so you discover that like all of these different hors d'oeuvres have a lot of the same sorts of flavor profiles that you are used to. So at the very least, there's not some really unexpected bias towards any one particular flavor. You discover that there's, um, uh, and so you at the very least that's what you get in an initial thing. I would say that if you want to try to from all of these to glean some kind of a pattern,
Hmm.
then that would be a roll, and that would probably be a knowledge roll. Analyze.
Okay. Not great at that, but I'll give it a shot. Nope, I don't have anything that'll help me here. Butcher my stories and story. Nope. All right. Off we go.
Look at that. That's a
A
15 with hope. So that is going to be a success. I think that not only do you discover, you find that the flavors that you're not seeing as much are bitter, sour, and weird. That's not to say they're not in anything, but that sweet, savory, and salty are more prevalent than bitter, sour, and weird.
Hi. That's good to know. Thank you so much.
Sure. And I think with that extra little hope, what you also spy is a very tall, slender, sort of willowy fungril with a big, elaborate, cap headpiece that yeah, you see many other of the other guests are sort of hovering around too, and you have an instinct that that's another important person here in the party. Okay. Who? Oh, I think I
So
still don't have. Did people shift again, or I just? Okay, never mind. Give me just a second. I thought I had everyone in the spot. Okay. Yeah. So, So I think Curia hasn't had her first
yeah.
real move in the party
Yeah.
yet.
So yeah, Kyria, went off to the side and then kind of took a moment, then just grabbed some food and is looking for uh excuse me,
Looking for a chew?
someone
Well, lots of people are. It's a party.
it's gonna look for someone who is uh oh what how what's the way to say it's someone who is like kind of the strangest person there
Okay.
that is also so important that important enough that the strangeness doesn't actually keep them from
Okay.
being able to be there.
How about you give me
Like
more of what you
like the
okay, so I know you're struggling to describe. What I would suggest is give me a little bit more of what you're hoping to get out of this so that I can better understand what it is that you're looking for.
um someone who would be uh more comfortable talking about the issues that are going on with the like with the
Okay.
um community.
All right. I mean, okay. That's why I wanted to know is because I
Yeah.
would not have assumed that just because someone seems like they're a weird person at the party that means that that's what that is. So, I think what you would probably be wanting to do is not look for a certain type of person, but rather try to see what people are talking about, right?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you tell me what you want to do. I'm just trying to say what is it actually that you're looking for.
Like, yeah, I'll listen to what people are talking about.
Okay, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you would like to have happen. And if it's to find someone who is willing to talk about those things, I think that the better way to do that would be to listen to what people are talking about rather than look
Okay.
for someone who looks strange. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
Okay.
That does.
Well, in that
So,
case, then, how about an instinct roll?
okay. And yeah. Okay. 21 with fear.
Okay. So I think that you are going to. Yeah. Okay. So that's a success, but it is a success with fear, and I'm going to go ahead and spend that fear immediately to get you ambushed in a social way by one
Go
of
for
your
it.
competitors. I think you are wandering around looking for, you're kind of eavesdropping basically without trying to really like get involved, and uh, you are relatively skilled at traversing wild environments in a stealthy way. This is a very different scenario. You're also not in your usual sneaking garb.
Yeah.
And I think that you are trying to sort of lean in and overhear a specific conversation when all of a sudden you hear from behind you trying to snoop on conversation that's not your business, I see. And you turn and look, and there's a fairly like tall, lean, intimidating looking, like the image that immediately comes to mind is in Kill Bill Volume 1 when we see Oren Ishii in her assassin getup. So she's like dressed in very sort of functional but stylish black like gear where like could almost be like a slinky dress except that it's pants and sleeves, and just you get the sense that she could move very easily in it. And she's got some like decorations on her head and everything, but she's looming over you in a very intimidating way.
I'm just I'm just I'm just doing what I would assume a lot of people would do, and try and try and figure out what's going on.
For what purpose?
Well, I'm sure everyone has their own different purposes. Uh, and I'm sure mine might not necessarily match yours.
Well, I see you are not the type to answer straight questions either. So, let me put it this way to you. I have heard that your little group of outsiders is planning to enter the cooking competition tomorrow.
That is the plan, yes.
I would ask for what purpose, except I know already that you don't like to answer that question. Let me just tell you this. I'm going to win that competition. And if you get in my way, I will make you regret it. This town is already under a lot of strain right now, and it does not need outsiders coming in to tip over everybody's business.
Well, I for one and participating in the competition is am looking for the fun of a fair competition. So
Oh,
if that
oh,
is
oh,
your
I see. This is all just a game to you.
in times of stress, a fair game is one of the best relievers of said stress.
Well, let me put it this way to you. This is not a game to me. It is serious business. It is something that is important to our community and to our sense of culture and community, and we take it seriously. And if you don't, then I suggest you withdraw your entry.
You will have to bring that up with the rest of the Golden Nuggets, for they are the ones most enthusiastic with it in it.
Oh, I see. So you're only entering because everyone else wants to.
They they enjoy the culinary challenges, and I enjoy the gathering of ingredients.
I had thought that you might be the person to talk to persuade your group to withdraw. It seems that I am not speaking to the one in charge. Good evening. She turns and walks away.
That could have gone much worse. That's her eternal thought. It's like,
Bright comes over, having spotted that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, that is not the sort of reaction I was expecting. Maybe it would be best to withdraw from the competition. If it's really that big a deal, maybe we ought not to wear out our welcome here.
I think it's best make those decisions when it's not coming from another competitor, because
Oh, you think that she was lying to you to try to get rid of you as a competitor rather than expressing honest feelings?
I think it's more likely, because Yeah.
I
If you're
I would like to see if I can make detect whether that was bluster or sincere.
Okay. So I think that you were kind of watching that from,
Yeah,
from the
from a little
side.
from the
Yeah, sure.
side. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Um.
mean, I think tell me what skill you would like to bring to bear on that.
Um. I would like to. I think the most appropriate for me,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is to use my priest of a small cult experience
Mm-hmm.
as far as like reading people is concerned, and make an instinct roll.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's the appropriate thing to do.
All right. That sounds
Um,
reasonable to me.
and and as a human, um, I can there's an ability that relates to marking a
if you
stress to
fail.
reroll if I use an experience. So
Mm. Well, look, 14 is
so that's
exactly the target number I had set for this party. That's 14
and I rolled with
total.
hope.
Yes.
Mhm.
Um, I
I
think
don't like being hopeless.
so. I think that there are a couple of factors here. I think your read on her and her body language and her attitude gives you a little bit of a mix of maybe she does mean what she says,
Right.
doesn't mean she speaks for everybody,
Mm.
but also that she did seem pretty focused on you should withdraw as opposed to I'm just going to win and then it doesn't matter what you do. Right? So
Mm.
I think you have a vibe where it doesn't mean she was making it up, but
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 she was
she's
she had an
trying to
ulterior
eliminate
motive. She
yeah.
had an ulterior motive, and she was using her own like prejudice to
Yeah.
fuel it.
Like maybe there's also a little bit of a she thought she had all this wrapped up and now there's a wild card entering.
Yeah. Okay.
And she doesn't like that. And so maybe there's a prejudice that's part of that that's fueling
Mhm.
making it a little more personal, but you get the feeling that like
And
it,
and I haven't gotten that feeling from other people who know that we are involved in it.
no, I think that knowing just broadly about the fungal community, you would imagine. Sure, there's probably some that that don't like non-fungal, um, but you've been treated pretty warmly, broadly
Mm-hmm.
speaking,
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Certainly you didn't get the impression from the sheriff that he was hostile towards outsiders. In fact, he thought it was a boon that you showed up because you were able to help in a way that they couldn't manage. And so, yeah, I think that you have not had a sense that the city at large feels that way. And I think I'll also just give you with the hope you'll get just a little bit of an overhearing some other fungrel whispering to each other as she walks as the other competitor walks away, just going, "Oh my God, she's so intense."
All right. So, well, come to think of it, you might be right. She does seem to be, at the very least, have an ulterior motive. So maybe it wouldn't be so bad to join in this competition.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? And also, I mean, there's not a great deal at stake if we don't win. So,
Yeah. Yeah. If one of them wins, then that looks good for their community, and yeah, we can we can say we had a good competition and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah.
I did succeed on the roll.
Yeah.
So is there a did I
Oh, yeah. I think. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Because you were. I think that I mean, what I had kind of been thinking is that, okay, yeah. So I suppose, uh, like I said, what you're asking about is not what people are here to talk about. But I think, just broadly speaking, you are just getting a sense that, um, yeah, you know what? I just have to go with the fiction. They don't know. This is a mystery.
Okay.
So I'm sorry to give you, like, I'm
Yeah.
on a success, but
Yeah.
like that I think that's just the answer here, is that nobody knows. This is a mystery that's coming from elsewhere in the cave, and literally
Okay.
you all having investigated that suit of armor today means you are the most informed in a pretty wide radius. So
Okay. Yeah.
I think that is what I will give you on your success, is just the realization that nobody here has any idea what's going on. They're just scared of it.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Gives me another direction to think on.
yeah. All right, so I think we had left Clem kind of scoping out a mean-looking judge.
Yep. So Clem was gonna go over and first we'll try to see what they're asking and like people around because there seems to be a lot of people wanting to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he thinks it would be interesting to see what they're trying to talk to him about.
Okay. Yeah. I think that certainly. You know what? Let's. I'm not going to make you roll just to find out that, because you can kind of just stand nearby and
Yeah.
listen a bit. I think that this is the sort of vibe here is he is one of the most important people here. Everyone's excited about the competition tomorrow, and he's one of the judges. So people are just like interested in like his opinions on what makes for a good competition and that sort of thing. And I think you do hear a little bit about, uh, someone asks, um, do you think that you're going to be able to be impartial with the golden nuggets in the competition?
Ooh.
And he says, "Of course, I take this competition seriously. I will always be impartial and objective. However, with I maintain that my expectation that they will find themselves very much in over their heads is almost certainly going to be the outcome here. And that is not my impartiality, that is simply an observation of the outsiders coming in to something that they have no expertise in."
Hmm. So hearing that,
Mm-hmm.
Clem will come over and say, "Excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're Judge Roughstock. If you're a judge and we would not want to upset you, could you explain to us the rules so I can tell my friends? We're actually pretty good cooks."
Go ahead and make a presence roll.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
And
a
I
failure.
will spend one of my prayer die because you'll see Clem kind of put a hand over his chest before he says it again,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh boy, I hope this worked. Dad, help me."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "But you know,
Wait, your god is Clem Senior?
What does your prayer die let you do? Does it let you re-roll one of your die or something?
it just adds one of the die to the end of the roll." And
Okay.
that's why you get three. So and they're different values. So I've got 2, 2, and 4, and so I'll use the
Okay.
4.
Okay. Oh, to make it a 14.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so that is still with fear,
Oh yeah.
but it does make it a success with fear. So I've just maxed up our my fear.
Oh God.
Um, it just means I'm not spending it that much so far here at the party.
Mhm.
But I think that what he looks at you and he just says, "Let me be clear. I did not vote to allow you into this competition, which is for Fungril, by Fungril. But the other two judges felt differently, and so I must go along with the consensus there. However, if you wish to know the rules, they are as follows. You will have a time period tomorrow wherein you must attain whatever ingredients you wish to prepare. When that time is up, you must stop, and nothing that you had before or achieve after will be permitted to enter your dish. Then you will make 3 dishes. Each of our judges will sample all 3 dishes and score you accordingly. And that is when I will judge for myself if your friends are good cooks. Have I explained the rules simply enough for you to understand?
Wow.
Oh, of course. But I would like to know what's your favorite food?
Ballsy.
I think I need another rule for that.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
No,
At least it was hope.
but
Okay. What I'm going to give you with that is, let's see. What I've got in mind right now is from Ratatouille when Linguini says to what's his face, the critic, is like, "Well, you're really thin for someone who supposedly loves food," and he just or likes food, and he says, "I don't like food, I love it, and if I don't love it, I don't swallow." And so like that sort of attitude. So um, I think what he says is, my favorite food is something that doesn't make me think that it was cooked by an outsider.
Honestly, I could work with that.
And what I'm actually going to give you with that hope is a little bit of a feeling like he doesn't like weird.
Right. And thank you for the advice.
Mhm.
We wouldn't want to offend you in our meals. And besides, we like it here. That's why we beat up that empty shell of armor that thing was out there.
Well, I would not want to besmirch our town's hospitality by behaving rudely to a guest.
uh-oh.
And so I say good evening.
And Cliff just goes, "Oh yeah, good evening. The crotchety folks where I'm from have to go to bed early too."
I
Wow.
think he pretends he didn't hear you and walks away.
Wow.
But like definitely sort of the vibe there was, I don't want to be rude to you, so I'm not going to say anything else.
Ow.
Damn.
Mhm.
This has
Wow.
gotten gotten sharp.
And Cliff's head, he's just like, well, at least 2 of the
Yeah.
judges like us.
So, incidentally, I think you'll like I have names for these characters that aren't you're not necessarily asking their names. So so that is Judge Waxcap Roughstock.
Wax
Oh.
Waxcap Roughstock. You have also the other competitor you met was Champignon.
Oh.
Yes. So I think Bass had an eye on a possible judge too.
I was not going after judges. I was just going after flavors.
Okay, well, I
and
think
things.
so I maybe I'm misremembering. I said one of you
Yeah.
had talked to I think I mentioned Judge Chantrell was no. Maybe I didn't say the name.
Someone
Well,
got a suggestion of who one of the judges was.
Yeah.
yes, that
Okay.
yes. So in any case, that's what I was thinking of. I thought it was you, Bass, but if maybe
Nope.
you don't want to follow that up, that's okay.
I mean, if you'll give me that, if you'll give it to me, I didn't realize I actually had done that. Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, well,
I'll go say hi to the judge.
yes, all right. I think yes, in your previous conversation, you had like in your sampling all of those things, you'd gotten the impression that there was it you or was it Zeke that I gave that tip to?
Not Zeke.
Okay, well, it was Bass then. I was right. So in any case, yes, in your previous investigation, you had spotted that there was this sort of tall, willowy,
Oh,
fancy
yeah,
looking
right.
judge. Yeah.
Okay, right. They must be a VIP. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I guess that is what I said. So perhaps I was not as clear as I meant to be. But yeah. So I was assuming you might want to follow up on that.
I'll go over and talk to them casually.
Okay. Sure.
Say hello, introduce myself.
Yeah.
Remember the Golden Nuggets, and I mean, I have a suspicion they might be a judge, but I don't know.
Sure.
I don't honestly know because the insignia of everybody here is kind of like unknown to me. So I will just casually engage in conversation.
Sure.
And
go
find
ahead
out.
and make a presence roll to sort of introduce yourself.
All right, there we go. That's a
Look at
15
that,
with
15
hope.
With hope. Yeah. So what do you say as you introduce yourself?
I'll cut. I'll keep it rather casual and start off with I do appreciate us being allowed to come to this gala. I'm having a good time. I think my companions are having a good time. I'm Basileus from the surface.
Oh, well, my goodness, what a gentleman. I am Autumn Chantrell. And she holds out her hand like
I
will
will do the whole bowing kissing over bit. Yeah, I'll play this to the hilt. Sure.
Yes. Did I hear correctly that you and your little retinue? Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say little. That's demeaning, isn't it? I'm sorry, your heroic retinue. Planning on entering this cooking competition tomorrow?
I think we're more than 90% decided that we would like to try to help bring the spirit of interspecies and inter-area cooperation to your community by entering.
Well, I think that's just wonderful, and I want you to know that although you won't get any special treatment in the judging tomorrow, I did advocate mightily on your behalf for you to be permitted to enter. You see, it's not about outsiders not being allowed so much as normally the entry would have elapsed already, but you were only just arrived in town today, so we made an exception, but did require a little bit of overcoming a bit of grumpiness. She kind of gestures over to in the direction of Judge Roughstock.
That was extremely kind and very well minded of you. I on behalf of the Golden Nuggets, thank you for your advocacy in allowing us this opportunity. I just hope we can not completely disgrace ourselves and come up with something that will be suitable to your palate at a bare minimum.
I am personally quite excited to see what you might bring to the table, so to speak. Now, of course, you will be trying to source your ingredients locally, which is always a good thing in my book, not just because of this locale, but locally sourced ingredients, just generally speaking, wherever you might be. But I wonder if you have special surface techniques that you might surprise us all with.
As it so happens, my father is the butcher of the village I grew up in. So my specialty is in, well, preparing meat.
Well, I probably shouldn't get into this sort of thing, but I have to let you know I am a fan of savory meals. So I do hope you will have something good for me tomorrow.
I will make a special point of it, my lady. I bow. Yeah. Oh
Not
God.
weird. You
and-
savory.
Yeah,
so-
not
and
weird. You savory.
Yep.
Don't mind Judge Roughstock. He's a bit of a sourpuss.
It takes all kinds to run a village.
Well, he is, of course, very established in this community. He is someone that is worthy of respect, if not, well, I was going to say if not affection, but that is mean, isn't it?
Perhaps too much mean.
But in any case, I hope that you don't take his grousing personally. He does take the competition seriously, so I think that if you are prepared to bring your best, I think that he will respect that.
That is what we intend to do, my lady.
Wonderful. Have you been introduced to Professor Porcini yet?
I have not.
Well, let me escort you. And she holds out her arm to be
I will. Yeah. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play right this up to the hill. Absolutely.
nice. Yeah, so I think she guides you over to you know what? Let's say who would have Zeke, you haven't been in a conversation in a minute. What were you up to?
Oh, I'm still listening to general all caps
Oh God.
stories.
Okay. All right. Well, what I'm going to say then is that I think I will not tell you how to feel about it, but I will say that the story that he's been telling has been going on for long enough that you can tell everybody else in this little ring of conversation is bored out of their mind.
Okay.
You get the sense that many of them probably would like to move on to another group, but he has just enough sort of charisma to him, and that there's just this vibe that if someone were to walk away, it would be a sign of disrespect, and nobody wants that. But also, why does he keep encouraging him? yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
there's
God.
that. But
all right.
but the reason I cut to you is because at this point Basilius, holding the arm of this tall willowy Judge Autumn Chantrell, comes up to your little knot there and addresses a sort of portly old man with a big round mushroom cap and just says, Professor Porcini, if I might steal you away, and all of a sudden he's just saying, "Oh well, if I must, my apologies. I'm there is official judge business, I expect." and so
break, and it's like she's the white ball in a game of pool, and everybody just kind of breaks.
yeah, it definitely sort of gives an opportunity for everyone to say, oh yes, I think I'm gonna go get another glass of wine. Well, I'm in the middle of something right now. Yeah. So, but yes, so Basilius, you and Autumn Chantrell are there, and there's this Professor Porcini who is here too. So I basically we've got a new little conversation circle that other people could potentially join if interested. But yes, Miss Chantrell just says, and so this is Professor Porcini, and he is the third judge in our illustrious little competition tomorrow. Professor, this is Basilius, and he is a member of the Golden Nuggets, that charming rogues gallery of outsiders that has decided to enter the competition tomorrow. Oh, you don't mind being called rogues, do you?
No, ma'am.
I didn't think
Of course
so.
not.
Of course not. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. What are you a professor of, I might ask?
Oh yes, well, I do find myself interested in the most history.
History. I I turn excitedly to Alicia. In addition to being my father's student as a butcher, I am also an amateur historian. But of course, that's mostly of the surface world. But
Hmm.
I I I don't have any published monographs or anything that would grant me a scholarly academic title such as yours, Professor. But I've always been interested in historical perspectives and narratives.
Quite fascinating. Tell me, is that why you come down into these plover caves? Are you in search of uh, ancient history?
It it's a the ancient history is a bonus. We're actually here because of the golden lore and it our fears that it is fading in power and the
Hmm.
dangers that that brings to our community.
Yes, this is, I'm afraid, something I have no present knowledge about, but it is of great concern to many. There are those who think that this scourge of invasive spores is the result of the lure's weakening magic.
That would dovetail with our observations of things going wrong even on the surface. I would not be surprised if there was a correlation. Of course, correlation does not mean causation, but it certainly the timing is rather
Suspicious.
suspicious. Thank you, Z. Suspicious.
Well, I did not come to this party though to dwell on those unpleasant, bitter sorts of thoughts. We are here for a party, so let us
Yes.
discuss something a bit sweeter, eh?
Yep.
Quite yes.
So tell
Um,
me, what you mentioned your family history with butchery.
that is correct. My
Tell
father,
me, what is your favorite surface meat?
my favorite service meat is the pig. It the versatility of pork as a meat that is not that has a flavor of its own, can take other flavors, puts it in my mind above poultry or the cow or some other things.
You have now mightily offended the Zeke.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh no.
So
Oh
go
no.
ahead and make
I think this
a
is a long-standing argument between the two of them.
Yeah.
That
Mutton.
that mutton
Mutton,
is
the mutton versus
vastly
pork.
superior
Yeah.
than the meat that comes from something that just wallows in its own filth all day long.
So do you
Oh.
get into this argument?
I think we rehashed this argument for the 20 bazillionth time.
It would be but I think you can bring it up. Well, you should bring it up because then we can see we're a double act.
Yes.
Yes, we get into the argument in front of the judges.
Oh,
versus
you know,
pork.
give the idea that there's dissent to be sown among our ranks.
or that we just have a variety of perspectives in this rogues gallery. Team mutton, team pork, but we're still friends, very good friends.
Yes.
So you can say we're going to give a roll here.
Yeah. Well, so I think how about this? I don't think I don't think it makes sense to roll like who wins the argument because that's
No.
between
No.
party members, right? But what I can say is the two of you together. Let's have you know what? Let's do this. Like, do either of you have enough hope for a tag team role here?
I only have two.
I do have 3 hope. For a tag
Okay,
team
well,
role.
let's imagine this as a tag team move, where the two of you, in having your argument, are demonstrating like a knowledge and understanding of the different kinds of meats and how they can be used and so on.
Okay, so that would be a knowledge roll.
Mm-hmm.
Can I?
No, I think because you're having this argument, so like if you want it to be knowledge, it can. You this is tag team, so the two of you can both tell me what skill you're sort of bringing to the table here.
I'm going to go with instinct, and I'm going to spend a hope to use butcher on it. So it's like the talking about the cutting and
Do
preparing.
you have enough with the 3 hope for the tag team?
Yeah, this will be my last hope to spend for it. Yeah, I'll be out of hope, but it's worth it.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. And uh I want to use my living off the land experience. I kind of want to use knowledge, but that's at a 0.
Go for
Well,
it.
so Paul, you
Yeah.
did just roll this 15, right? Or is that just now?
No,
No.
that's a
Okay, that's old.
presence.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, what?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I haven't rolled. I haven't done the roll
Okay.
yet because I was waiting.
Mhm.
I was waiting for Lee to figure out what she
mhm.
was going to roll. All right,
Yeah.
okay.
I
I'll
mean,
get my
you
roll
don't have to
first.
both roll the same thing.
Yeah, I got a
Okay.
16 with hope.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's see. I'm gonna do knowledge
Okay.
just because that makes sense to me. This is, I mean, I know sheep.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
know sheep about sheep.
You know sheep
Um,
about sheep.
Yep. Come on. Oh, that's a
Oh.
12 with fear.
Well,
but it's a
but
tag team. We'll take
then,
the 16.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beauty
Okay,
of this.
so yeah, I think that the animated discussion that the two of you get into here, where it's clear that this is a long-standing argument, but that there is still also a deep affection between the two of you, that you are both quite knowledgeable on the subject. I think you find that um, uh, yeah, Autumn Chantrell and Professor Porcini are delighted by watching this back and forth. Um, and I think that we don't have to play out every bit of the conversation, but I would say as the conversation goes on, you are going to eventually discover both basically all of the little trivia bits for the two of them, which is that Professor Porcini likes sweet, hates bitter. And Autumn Chantrell likes savory, hates sour. But one thing that just to note here, as I briefly mentioned earlier, the rules of the competition are that you're going to have to make 3 things.
Yep.
And so you're going to have to do it based on the whatever ingredients you have. And so the judges like different things. And so it's going to be a matter of like, you may not be able to always avoid an ingredient that like a flavor that one hates or another likes, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
you'll have to just decide how to use that information.
Okay.
But yes, so now you know at least that 2 of the 3 judges, you know their preferences. And you know, Clem has kind of intuited that maybe the 3rd judge doesn't like weird, but you don't know necessarily what his favorite is. Although just by process of elimination, you maybe could guess. Anyway, I think that, yeah, so that conversation I think is going on for a little bit. But so Kyria, what did you get up to after that? Well, I guess Kyria and Bright for that matter, because you were together discussing the champignon encounter.
I think that I would want to get everybody together to share information and to share what
Probably.
we've learned.
Right.
So-
Before that happens, let's say that conversation is still going on in there, and the two of you are kind of watching, and then I think as you're sort of standing together, watching as you know Zeke and Basilius are having that animated conversation in there, maybe even you know you've gathered Clem, but you're sort of waiting for them to be freed up. I think you're all sort of standing watching, and then all of a sudden, just from like already in the middle of your group, someone has like just this sort of like, so what did Champagnon want from you? And you look down and there's this very diminutive, like 2.5 foot tall, like he's the roundest individual you have ever seen.
So
He-
so a
he- like,
fungal puffball.
Yes, exactly. In fact, his name is Puffball Pete. And so you have this impression that like not that you would because he seems fairly nice, but if you were to kick him, he would roll for a long time.
Oh.
Aw.
So
If
don't
you
don't
didn't-
kick
if-
him. He's nice. Anyway,
Yeah.
so he's just looking up at all of you and just saying, "So I saw that Champignon kind of gave you the riot act. So I was just wondering, like, what did she tell you? What did she say?"
I think that she wanted to, you know, remove us from the competition without, without saying as much.
Well, you know
By
what? If this weren't such a fancy party, I'd spit on the floor.
yeah, I can understand that. Um, who are you in the
Oh, yeah.
competition as well?
And he like brushes his hands off like instinctively before offering to shake. He just sort of like brushes them off on his belly and offers to shake. He says, "I'm Puffball Pete, and I'll be competing against you in the competition tomorrow."
Ah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm for one, I'm excited to have some new blood in the competition. You know, you get to where you understand and you've had all of the dishes made by any of the people who are likely to win, and it starts feeling a little, stale, like it's good, but it's good in an expected way, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always looking to learn new techniques and improve my craft.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's one thing I can tell you from the rest of my companions. They are almost guaranteed to surprise you in some way.
Well, I can't wait.
Yeah. It's like,
But just so you know, Champignon comes on strong, kind of intimidating, right? But don't
she
let that fool you. She's actually meaner than a snake.
good to know. Huh.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
It's not like one of those situations where someone acts really tough, but they're actually a big softy inside. No, not her.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
She is. I will definitely keep that in mind.
I thought I better warn you because the point is, especially now that she's kind of made a point of like doing her like, thing to you.
Yeah.
Uh, she's not gonna cheat, but if there is
If she has
anything
not,
she can do within the rules to make
she'll
you
do it.
lose, she'll do it.
I will definitely keep that in mind. Make
That
sure.
does include cooking real good because she does do that.
Well, I'm not going to stop her from cooking real good if she does so within the rules.
Mhm. She's got a knife technique like I've never seen.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Sounds like she's a pretty impressive person.
You know what? One time, someone, as a joke, thought it would be funny to throw a potato at her, and she had
I'm
her knife
guessing.
in. And what are you
What,
guessing? Oh well, that would have been cool. But you know what she did? She diced it.
oh,
Wow.
That
I
is
I
an
don't even
impressive
know
knife
how.
technique.
I just saw the little pieces fall into the pot.
huh.
If you had asked me, I would have told you it was impossible, but I saw it with my own eyes.
Well, that is definitely some. I will definitely keep her. Yeah. If she beats us tomorrow, then I will definitely treat recognize that with the respect it's earned. But
I
I won't
suppose.
lay down.
Yeah, like see, you know what? Sometimes she wins because she cooked the best thing.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I'm going to try to win tomorrow. So
Oh, yes,
you all
yes.
be ready. You're going to have to
Oh.
bring your best stuff because I'm pretty good myself.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Spicy.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. Bit of a heat seeker.
Ah, yeah.
So, in any case, good luck to y'all. And again, you just watch as he goes to shake, but just like he can't help himself. He's wiping his hands off on
Oh, yeah.
an apron that he's not wearing before he goes to shake your hand.
Yeah. I mean, Kyria, being one who spends a lot of time outdoors, is familiar with that type of thing. Sometimes you have to do that every single time.
All right. So, just a quick check in. Do you have a hard? Anyone have a hard out? Need to finish? We've kind of been ending a little earlier these days, which I think perhaps if you all wanted to have a brief conversation to kind of wrap up as the party is kind of coming to an apparent finish, you could do that.
Yeah.
Or
So, I don't suppose any of you have heard anything about this cult of the Elder Golden Slime Mold tonight?
No,
I've been
sorry.
trying to find something, but I have had no luck whatsoever.
I've been focused on talking with judges and food. Sorry.
Mm.
Is
Maybe.
maybe?
No,
I tried to see.
really?
Maybe. Yeah. So I was talking to the professor. I'm assuming that the person that I was talking to was the professor,
Yeah.
or was,
No,
or
it's
is,
a
or is it
different
not?
person.
well, okay,
Okay.
so yeah, I ended up I kind of accidentally did so
The same voice.
the voice
so
that I
is,
had planned for Professor Porcini, I kind of accidentally did for this other character first. So
Oh, okay. Then it was somebody else.
Yes,
It was somebody else.
Yeah,
the,
the
the
general.
military mushroom guy who was talking about his expedition
Exploits.
into the abyss.
Exploits, yes.
That was not Professor Porcini, even though
Okay.
I apologize. They did have similar voices.
Okay. I thought that was what was happening, but that's fine.
Yes.
Professor Porcini was in his audience,
Yes.
unfortunately trapped. But yeah, no, I called him General All Cap because he spoke in all caps. No, General All Caps was telling me about the terrain that we might, and some of the risks that might be involved. And one of the things that he mentioned was that the Abyss was what may have been holy ground for the Elder Golden Slime, but it has since fallen. So during his adventures he did not see a place of worship there, but that may be a place where you could gather additional information.
Well, that does sound portentous, but doesn't tell me much about what's going on here with the temple in this district was quite ominous.
You think there's a danger, right?
No, well, I don't know enough about them to be quite sure. All I know is that it exists and that it's, I'm not sure if my church is an offshoot of theirs or vice versa or what have you, but I'm finding it quite troubling.
Well, we can keep our eyes and our ears open,
Yes,
Definitely.
and see if we can learn anything more.
Yeah, I've had a couple encounters with other competitors. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty fierce competition. And um, um, I one in particular, a champignon, is a apparently will is has an unreal knife technique
Mm-hmm.
and will do basically anything within the rules to win. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye on your ingredients when
Oh.
gathering. And another one, Puffball Pete, I believe was his name, who apparently is very much into spiciness. But otherwise it seems like he'd be a pretty fair competitor.
So I'm going to suggest that at this point we imagine that our camera sort of, is craning out as the five of you are talking, and this gala is kind of starting to wind down. But we're then gonna briefly follow the camera away from our party, and at first it seems like, why are we just sort of going across this like shadowy, darkened street and into this alley? But then we see emerging from the shadows is Champignon, and she moves down this alley to sort of a door hidden by the shadows, and knocks on the door, and a little one of those little security windows opens up, shunk, um, and in the light emerging from inside, we see she sort of flips over a lapel, and underneath that is a little pin with a golden little teardrop shape on it. And then she
Dun, dun,
flips it
dun.
back hidden,
Oh.
and the door opens, and she goes inside.
Ooh.
Yay!
Bum. So, what is going on with that? We'll have to find out when we return for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
So
levels.
many
Levels.
levels.
Levels.